Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever wondered why one article blows up online while yours just disappears? Well, today we're cracking the code on virality. We're going to take what feels like random magic and turn it into a repeatable formula you can actually use.
A lot of people think going viral is just pure dumb luck. You post something, cross your fingers, and maybe you become the next Chewbacca mom, whose infectious joy made her an overnight star. And that's an awesome story for sure, but let's be real. For pretty much everyone else, that's just not how it works. It's the exception, not the rule.
Because the truth is, for most of the content that goes huge, it isn't about luck at all. It's a process. It's a deliberate strategy that you can plan, you can execute, and you can even repeat. So let's just toss out that whole lottery ticket idea. Today, we're talking about the blueprint.
And in this explainer, we're going to walk through that exact blueprint. We'll start by busting the viral lottery myth. Then we'll dive into the science of emotion, look at how to actually create and promote this stuff, and finally, we'll put the whole puzzle together. And to do it, we're going to blend insights from a practitioner, a researcher, and a technologist.
Okay, let's jump right in. First up, we've got to tackle this huge misconception head-on. This idea that viral success is just some happy accident.
So to really get the full picture, we're pulling from three key perspectives. We've got John Rampton, the practitioner. This is the guy in the trenches who actually built a viral machine. Then there's Jonah Berger, the researcher who crunched a ton of data to figure out the psychology behind sharing. And finally, we'll get a glimpse of the future, looking at how AI is completely supercharging this whole process. All right, let's get to the heart of it, the why. What is the actual engine that makes us hit that share button? Well, it all comes down to one simple thing: human emotion. It's not about what we think, it's about what we feel. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The researcher, Jonah Berger, discovered it's not just any emotion that works. The secret ingredient is something called physiological arousal. Sounds a little technical, I know, but all it really means is a state of activation. You know that feeling when your heart beats a little faster? That energy that makes you want to do something? Well, one of those somethings is sharing.
And check this out. This is the hard data to back it up. Berger's team analyzed thousands of articles, and the pattern was crystal clear. Content that sparked high arousal emotions, like the awe you feel from a mind-blowing space photo or the anger from an injustice. That stuff was way more likely to get shared. But on the flip side, low arousal emotions like sadness, they actually suppressed sharing. It's like they just drained the motivation right out of us.
So, the big takeaway here is this. It doesn't matter if the emotion is positive or negative. What matters is the intensity. Awe and anger feel totally different, but they both light a fire under you. And that fire is the rocket fuel that makes content spread. So, if you want to put this into practice, think about it. Can your next post tap into a sense of wonder? Or maybe a shared frustration? That's how you light the fuse.
Okay, so we know our target, high arousal emotions. But how do you actually create content that hits that mark? Let's look at two really powerful ways to do it: the classic human approach and the cutting-edge AI workflow. First up, the human touch. Instead of just listing facts, a creator like John Rampton brings you in with a personal story. This quote isn't just a business tip, it's a story about risk, about pressure, about having to convince your spouse on a huge decision. You can feel the tension, right? That's what's relatable. It taps into that anxiety and excitement in a way a dry list of business tips never, ever could.
Now the second path completely flips the script and brings in the tech. This is where things get a little futuristic. Research shows how this process can kick off with AI. So instead of you staring at a blank page, you just give a tool like ChatGPT a few keywords, like eco-friendly backpack for hiking, and bam! In seconds, you've got a solid, well-written blog post.
But it doesn't stop there. The AI then basically becomes your creative director. It takes that text it wrote and turns it into detailed prompts for an image generator like Midjourney. So you're not just getting some cheesy stock photo. Nope. You're getting a whole gallery of amazing, on-brand visual concepts tailored to the exact mood of your content. And here's where it all comes together. The AI text gets layered onto the AI image, and just like that, you have a polished, professional piece of content ready to go. Think about that for a second. What used to take a team of writers and designers days to do can now be done in minutes. That is a massive, massive shift. But here's the hard truth. You can create the most incredible masterpiece in the world, but if nobody sees it, it doesn't matter. It's that old question, right? If a tree falls in a forest, you can't just create, you have to strategically get it in front of people.
This is where John Rampton's playbook is so valuable. I love his analogy for this. It's like seeding a new lawn.
You don't just toss out a few seeds and hope for the best. You gotta spread them everywhere to get that initial momentum going. And for your content, that means using your own channels, getting your whole team to share, reaching out to influencers, and, this part is crucial, putting a real budget behind it to kickstart everything.
So yeah, this is the exact opposite of a post and pray approach. It's a full-on tactical plan. You're posting multiple times to hit different time zones. You're using paid ads to find the perfect audience. You're watching your analytics like a hawk, and if a campaign isn't working, you cut it. The whole point is to build enough momentum for the content to reach escape velocity and start flying on its own.
So when you put all these pieces together, you start to see it, right? Virality isn't some dark art. It's not just a lucky break. It really is a formula that combines human psychology, smart strategy, and some really powerful tools.
So here's that formula one more time. It starts with the science, understanding the high arousal emotions that make people need to share. Then you add the art. That's the great storytelling and the smart promotion plan. And finally, you bring in the accelerator, using AI to do everything faster and more efficiently than ever. Science, art, and acceleration. That's the blueprint.
And this all leads us to one final, really big question to think about. These tools are getting so good, so fast, that creating a perfect piece of content is becoming almost trivial. So when anyone can generate a flawless image with a killer headline, what happens to authenticity? What does a true, genuine connection with an audience even look like in the age of the algorithm? Well, that might just be the next code we all need to crack.